everybody, I'm Tasha with the Major Change Group, and today I want to talk about the American Express spending limit. Now, let me know in the comments when you had got your American Express Gold Card, do you feel like you had got a low spending limit? Well, in this video, I want to talk about how you can go from a low spending limit to a high spending limit. Because when I first got the American Express Gold Card, y'all, my spending limit was only $10,000, but now I have moved it all the way up to $40,000. And today I had went on there and I checked, but I had put 40,000 in there. But see, the last time I did it, maybe like 3 months ago, it was 40,000, and I really should have did 50,000 just to see, even though I'm not going to spend nowhere near that limit. But on the same hand, you want to know how high of the limit that you can get. So let's get into it. So in this video, I'm going to give 5 tips on how I feel like you can increase your spending limit with American Express. And so the first tip that I'm going to say is give it time. Now, I recently got a comment stating that if they had known that they were going to be getting a spending limit versus a credit limit, they would not have applied for the American Express Gold Card. And so I stated that you really have to give it a little bit of time. And you have to give this time for yourself, I guess, to get used to having the spending limit. And you have to give it time for American Express to understand your spending habits, also your credit worthiness, your payment history, and you building a relationship with American Express. Because I'll say when I had first got the American Express Gold Card, like I said, my limit was only 10,000. So I'm just like, that's not bad. But if you are wanting a higher spending limit, you really have to give it some time for them to understand your spending habits. And the more that you use the card, the better. And then additionally, now that I have had the card for over a year, I don't even know that I think about it. Just like I don't think about any of my credit limits on any of my other cards, I just spend. And so I think once you kind of just use the card, I don't know that it will even make a difference. Number 2, I would say use your card regularly and responsibly. Main thing is paying the card back every month, in my opinion. Now, the thing is, with the American Express Gold Card, although it doesn't report to your credit utilization, it still reports on your credit report. But the thing is, even though it's not in your utilization, do you want to pay interest on the credit card? You see what I'm saying? So while it's not impacting your credit utilization, they still are reporting it. And so to me, I feel like it can still impact you because would you want to report a higher limit? And so I think that it's best to pay the card off. And let me know in the comments, do you remember when with the American Express cards, you had to pay off the credit card every month? And then now, they have where you can pay over time and things like that. And so that's not necessarily bad. But I think when you can use the card regularly and responsibly, I think that this will increase your spending limit over time. Number 3 is keeping your utilization 30% or lower. So let's say if you are not paying the credit card off every month, even though this is not reporting your credit to your credit utilization and it's still reporting on your credit report, I think it's still best to not have over 30% utilization, because even for American Express, the lower your credit utilization, I feel like the more they're going to give you. Because it seems to me like, let's say if you have high utilization, like 50% or more, even for your other credit cards, if you request a credit line increase or things like that, most of the time they're not going to give you additional credit because it seems like you're relying on credit, opposed to me, especially if you pay the card off every month or if you report 30% or lower, but I would say even 10% or lower, the lower the better. If you can report but not pay interest on credit cards, and that's what I like to do. So I usually like to report usually 2%, or if I can report 7%, that's great. But I report on my credit profile so that they can see that I am utilizing and using the credit cards, but I just won't pay interest on the credit. So let me know in the comments if you want a video talking about how you can report to the credit bureaus but not pay interest. Number 4 is building a strong payment history. And I would say, always paying our bills on time. And this is going to be for all of our credit cards, because the thing is, while American Express is going to be understanding your payment history with them and going to be understanding your how you're using the card, also they are going to be pulling the credit report just to see, do you have late payments on your credit report? Are you paying your bills, your credit cards, and what's reporting to the credit bureau on time? And so, with the payment history being 35% of our credit profile, that's really big. So we want to decrease or not have any late payments on our credit profile. And I think that that's a best way to have our credit score higher. Last but not least, are you reporting your income? I think it's very important for us to do that. Additionally, when you get raises or if you get other sources of income, are you going in to report it? Because you know how sometimes you'll set it and forget it and you won't even think about it. But from time to time, especially let's say once you do your taxes and things like that, are you going in to put the updates of your income? So I think that that's something that we should always do. Let me know in the comments, how are you feeling about the American Express spending limit, and how often do you check your spending limit, or do you just forget it and you just spend the card like normal? Because I know, when I first got the card, because it states when you're doing the spending limit tool, you have up to 3 times a day. But are you going in there to check your spending limit, or are you calling American Express up to see what your spending limit is? For me, every now and then I might go in to check it to see, has my spending limit increased? But for the most part, I just use my card and I don't even think about it. But let me know in the comments, how do you feel about it? And over time that you have had the American Express Gold Card, do you feel like your spending limit has increased or has it decreased? Are you looking for a way to keep track of your monthly budget? Well, check out my 2025 digital budget planner. I just posted it on my Etsy shop. You can go into the description and click on the link. In the budget, you have goal setting, you have a monthly budget, a debt repayment, you have a savings tracker. So check out the 2025 digital budget planner on my Etsy shop. I hope that you found this video helpful. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and turn your notification bell on so you'll be notified when new content drops. I thank you so much for watching. Until next time. It's not a game, it's a rich thing.